Welcome back to another outstanding episode of the Scoreboard Addicts podcast. I'm Nick, and with me as always, whose loyalty is never fleeting, his love is never fading, whose handsomeness is ever waning. It's waning. Aren't we all? My man, TJ, the Hammer, is on. He's dying. TJ is not feeling well. He's reporting live from his deathbed. And
pretty much.
I'm glad to see his face, though. But you know what? You know what really gives my man life more than anything? You know what fires up my guy more than anything? Rangers playoff hockey. So even though he's on his way out, you know, he's not going to let God take him before he watches this Stanley Cup run.
I mean, I got a thing or two to say before he takes me. You know what? And by the time I'm done saying those things, there's no guarantee the stairway to heaven is open for me.
Let me hear him. Hold on. Before we even... Because TJ's not feeling good. I'm not going to keep him on, but let's get into hockey right now. I love that music.
Oh, so do I. So how do you not love... Like, how does that not feel... Like, you know where you are. You know you're... For a second, you're in the ice rink. You're sitting in a nice, hard plastic chair, and you're thinking, my God, I just spent $17 on an ice-cold beer, and I'm going to do it 2 more times for 2 more periods. And I don't think I have a problem.
I don't have a problem, damn it.
But, dude, you know what? I feel like shit. I can't figure out if I have a cold or if it's just horrendous allergies because, you know, you walk out to your truck in the morning here in New York City and there's just a glaze of frosted green nastiness all over our cars. It's disgusting out. So I don't know if I have a cold. I don't know if I have COVID. I don't know if I have something new. Maybe one of these Carolina Hurricanes fans got me sick. I don't know. But I feel like shit. But I feel even worse because they fucking – imagine not playing Rempe when you're undefeated in the playoffs, right? I don't care the guy plays 4 minutes a game. I don't care the Rangers are cutting it down to 11 bodies because you know what? In the third period in Game 2, the Carolina Hurricanes cut it down to a 9-guy bench, essentially. So – we're still outplaying the fucking Carolina Hurricanes, but that nuclear-level threat is there, right? We have the ability to push the button and change the tide of the game. And who could have foreseen this game being a chippy shit show in front of the Hurricane fucking faithful, right? Like, who would have thought that would have happened? You knew it was coming, dude. And to play Philip Hedl, who hasn't stepped on a fucking ice rink in a live game since November 2nd, is ridiculous, dude. This is a la Gerard Gallant, 100%. This is Gerard Gallant telling Reeves to sit it out and watch the fucking Tampa Bay Lightning absolutely bend the Rangers over and have their way with them and then not even tip them for the effort. It's ridiculous. I'm so fucking pissed off. You have Jimmy Vesey dropping the gloves there, which hilariously he drops the gloves and doesn't get 5 minutes. He only gets 2, which I actually like that. You know what I mean?
Out of that whole thing was what's his name? Just throwing a cheap shot in at I want to say Goody was in front of the net.
Goody was in front of the net. Gaudreau was in front of the net, and what's his name? Give him the face shove.
Orlov, yeah.
But
it's a cheap one. It wasn't even like he wasn't even looking in his direction.
Right.
And he wasn't even like he wasn't slapping at the goalie. He'd already gotten a little shove from the guy behind him, so he's leaving the crease entirely.
Right.
And Orlov just basically hits him in the face.
Right.
And throws him on the ice. Like, I would have thrown that dude in the box for 5 minutes.
But you know what? I love the response from friggin' Vesey. He literally just, like, manhandled Nikis's face. He was just like, hey, remember how you used to have a face? Now it's mine.
Well,
it's moved to the ice.
And then Gaudreau stands in front of their entire bench and is like, any of you want to go? I'm right fucking here.
I love how Tony DeAngelo actually thinks he's a fucking factor and thinks like he's a threat to do anything. Like the guy selling popcorn up in the top tier of the bowl in Raleigh has a better chance against somebody on the Rangers bench than fucking like stick to punching goalies in the face that don't know how to fight, dude. You know, like you really think you're a factor and you're not. You're not a tough guy. You're running your mouth. Our friends at the Broadway Block showed the video, and you can, if you're any type of lip reader, which it's pretty easy to read what he says. I believe it was it game 1 or game 2 when D'Angelo was kind of chirping at the bench, and you can clearly see him throw a hateful, anti-gay slur towards the Rangers bench, and it just goes unnoticed. Like everybody watching could sit there and amazingly read lips for 2 seconds of that because the pronunciation was so perfect, and yet nothing happened. In this new age of, when people come out and say, I'm not into the pride jerseys, it's not something for me, and they sit there and face the gauntlet of hate as if they were out there gay bashing, right? And this asshole is literally throwing out slurs. This guy's literally throwing out slurs right in front of the refs, and nothing happens.
I just want to say, I don't think you know what it is. It's one of those things where like everybody knows who he is already, so nobody's ever shocked when he does something because you're just like, we get it. Like he's a piece of shit. Like
correct.
He's the hard ER fucking turning around to Georgiev and telling him to go back to his country. That's fucking Tony D'Angelo. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a fucking dick, dude, and he's right in the middle of it. But I cannot get over not playing Rempe. And dude, Nick, you know the deal. You've been a diehard Ranger fan just as long as I have been. In hockey, superstition, especially around the playoffs, they matter.
I was just about to tell you, we're losing right now because I was not wearing my away jersey,
bro,
when the first period started. I was eating dinner. And then I sat down on the couch at the end of the first period, and I realized I came home. I was wearing this all day. I mean, obviously I put my uniform on today, but I wore this to work today. I get home. I'm like, I'm going to mow the lawn. I start sweating. I take it off, put it in the house, start cooking dinner. I sit down, watching the first period. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Nothing's happening. Yeah. I sit down on the couch, and Meredith's going to sit down on the other couch. And I look at her. I go, shit, pass me my jersey. That's why we're losing right now.
Dude, this isn't just for I wasn't jumping on tonight because I absolutely feel like shit. I've been sleeping all day. I took some Claritin and it knocked me on my ass. And I literally wasn't going to jump on. Rook was going to be late, and I'm just so fucking heated. But Nick,
I can hear,
bro. I'm not in the Scoreboard Addicts pub right now to podcast. I'm here because I've watched every single game of the playoffs so far out here, and I don't give a fuck if it was friggin' on fire out here. I'd be still sitting here because that's tradition. We've been doing third period bourbons for a couple seasons now, ever since we met Dave at third period bourbon. Changed our life with this little, what do you call it? I guess it's a tradition, right? We kind of jumped into his tradition. And for the playoffs, I've been staying with the Antique Weller, which my wife bought, on secondary. Spent about $120 for this bottle, and I've been drinking it every third period just because we've been on a winning streak. Like I have $20 bottles that I drink, you know what I mean, on the regular. I don't tap into the good stuff every night or every other night, but every playoff game, every third period, I've been breaking out this bourbon because why? It's fucking working. And you don't ever touch something that's working. And
I learned that from Crash Davis.
What happened?
I said I learned that from Crash Davis.
Yeah. Exactly.
A player in a streak should respect the streak.
Yeah, 100%.
If you think that you're hitting good because you're wearing women's panties, then you are.
Damn straight, dude. And you know what? You don't fuck with a streak. You don't mess with superstition. And the Rangers are undefeated going into the Hurricanes' first game at home. And they sit Rempe for a guy that hasn't played in 7 fucking months. And I love it because all these fans were talking about Hedl and Hedl should be in there. And a simple question. Do you think Philip Hedl would have been out there skating at any capacity in that double overtime game? Because I guarantee you he's winded tonight by the second period. I guarantee you the Rangers still cut down the bench to 11 in the third, and Hedl's not part of the fucking action. Because guess what? You can't sit around for 7 months, whether you're skating a little bit here and there. You're not playing games. You're not going up against the guy in the playoffs who's giving 110% effort, right? You don't know what that's like. You haven't even played against that all season. You were out there for 5 fucking games at the beginning of the season playing against guys that were just trying to get into the groove of playing NHL hockey for the fucking year. And now he's out there playing playoff hockey, and people honestly think he's going to be a factor. I'm not trying to be a dick, and I love Philip Hedl. The chances of him factoring into this game are slim to none. He's not going to have the legs. He's not going to have the athleticism. He's literally going to be out there trying not to think about getting fucking hurt.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not a, and that's the same deal. Like a couple of years ago, we did the same. They do it in a lot of sports. You know, they were talking about bringing Aaron Rodgers back with the Jets last season. A couple of years ago, Harrison Bader coming in for the Yankees, and I was like, really, dude? Like, why the guy's not playing right now? You think he's gonna come back for the playoffs and have a fucking amazing playoff push because he's fucking, whatever? And it ended up he did have a good playoff series. Nothing amazing, but I think it was just more the fact that everybody else sucked. That you were kind of like, wow, he had a great series.
Yeah.
Nothing really impressive about it. What he did, he played well. But if the best you're hoping for is just playing well, I don't know.
You're wasting time.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's the fucking playoffs. There's things you do and there's things you don't do. And don't fuck with a winning combination. You just don't. I understand Heedle's sitting there waiting in the wings. Have a reason to go to Heedle. But at the very least, and this is the thing that people don't think about and don't, plan into their chess game of the playoffs. Let's say the Rangers, game 3, the Rangers, either way, they lose game 3, whether it's Heedle, whether it's Rempe. But Rempe is there. Right? Late in the third period, Carolina's up by 2 or 3 goals. It's looking a little out of touch. You can still send Rempe out there to start setting the edge for game 4. Getting under their skin, because somebody like Sean Avery will sit there and tell you about role-playing and how easy it is to get under somebody's skin and dominate a series. Because Sean Avery literally collapsed a fucking first-ballot Hall of Fame goaltender's mind. He went in there, he set up shop, and he was like a New York City fucking squatter. He wasn't leaving for 18 months. That's the impact that somebody, he's a fucking a tiny little splinter that goes unnoticed and festers until it puts you in the hospital. And that's what a role player does. And I don't give a shit that Rempe only played 4 minutes.
Oh, fuck you. Come on. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
But hold on. Did they just call interference? I think they just called interference.
Dude, the Rangers in that first period had no edge to the game. They were playing chase around, catch up, right? The Rangers have done a great job in the first 6 games of the playoffs, right? Winning and dominating, of course, but controlling the game, controlling the flow of the game, always having the game in their grasp, right? I never felt once in the last 6 games that we've played, 6 for 6 wins, that we were like kind of just trying to hang on, or we were out of position and trying to just claw our way back into a game. We have been in full control of every one of these games so far. And today, right out the gate in the first period, we're reeling back and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, because the Hurricanes just came out and punched us right in the mouth, metaphorically and physically.
I maintain it is because I wasn't wearing my jersey, man. I got to call. Like, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The other night, what did I say? I stepped away from the TV for 10 seconds. They scored a goal. I didn't watch the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the rest of the game.
Oh,
I can't. I'm going to have to watch Gamecast now, because when I watched the game, they weren't scoring. I stepped away for 5 seconds. They scored a goal in the third period to tie it up. I was like, I'm going to have to watch Gamecast.
Listen, here we go. 15:34 left in the second period. Rangers get a power play. Let's see what they can do here, because this is right now is where you got to notch it at 1, right? You got to get back in here somehow, and this is a perfect way.
Yeah. Yep.
No, you don't waste these opportunities, because the Rangers, while they've been decent on the power play, I'd like to see them absolutely fucking dominate. And of course, you're not going to get a goal every power play, but at least open up the scoring opportunities, right? At least start peppering this goaltender, their rookie goaltender, this guy that hasn't really faced much so far this year and hasn't faced this pressure. Throw at least 10, 15 shots on goal in 2 minutes, right? Start peppering them and getting them a little off edge. It's ridiculous, dude. I can't. I'm so mad. I want to scream and yell, but I can't, because my nasal sinus passages can't handle it. They might all just blow out at once. Oh, in front. Little Mika action. That's one thing I want to say, because we were dogging Mika a little bit in the first round of the playoffs. But
we're French now?
Oui. Well, we all we all noticed the Mika magic was gone, and he wasn't really, all there. But you can't tell me, compared to the Capital series, he's flying. He's flying in this Hurricane series, dude.
He was saving it for May. He was saving Mika magic it's Mika May magic instead of Mika March. Usually it's March.
Listen, if that's what it takes, if he needed a couple months to get the magic back, and May and June is going to just be fucking Siegfried and Roy without getting attacked by a tiger, if Zibanejad is the fucking tiger, I will take it, Nick. Go out there and rip somebody's throat off. You can't be all frilly and fucking wearing all that glazed outfits and slapping me on the nose and hitting me in the nose with a newspaper and cracking a whip and playing with that fake fucking chair from the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey poster and not think I'm not going to take your throat from you. That's the kind of effort we need. Oh, I'm here by myself. I don't know what just happened. There. Hey, there he is.
Nick got disconnected, I guess. Or here he is.
I don't know.
I have a button on my mouse that's a back button, and I grabbed it to put Rook into the thing, and I pressed back by accident. So I actually went back a screen to the home screen, which was stupid. But regardless, I digress. TJ's dying. Welcome to the show, Rook.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for welcoming me. It's been a long week. I know TJ's not feeling well. So he's got his flu game tonight. Like Michael Jordan. But yeah, I mean,
like Michael fucking Jordan. Holy shit.
Rangers are down 1-0. Not too happy right now. But
what, Druk? There's one thing to elaborate on that simple statement that you just made. As bad as the Rangers were in the first period and how the Hurricanes manhandled us a little bit, it's 1-0. So. Yeah. They can claw their way back into this game, but it's not unsurmountable. However, they got to do something right now. They don't need to play down into the Hurricanes bullshit. Let the Hurricanes take the bad penalties, dude. Let Jake Gensel cost them a fucking power play 2 seconds in like he did game 2. Like, let them take the bullshit penalties. Let them get chippy in ways that, are going to get called on, because the Hurricanes have been horrible with picking and choosing the times to, get a little nasty. Right in front of the refs, doing stupid shit, the trippings, the hookings, the nonsense. So let the Hurricanes be on edge and take bad penalties, and then we capitalize on it, right? That's been our bread and butter all year, essentially. We've dominated on a 5-on-4. So get back to that. But don't fucking get suckered into their cheap shot and bullshit game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were before that power play. Obviously, they didn't convert there, but they were 40% of the power play so far, and they're 0 for 11 on. Carolina's 0 for 11. Rangers 11 for 11 on the penalty kill. So special teams are really key in the series, especially in the playoffs. Yeah. So you got to hope that continues, that trend continues. Honestly, when the Rangers won the power play, I was like, the game's gonna be tied. That's how good their power play's been. Right. I mean, they had good chances. When you watch the Rangers power play, it is great to watch. It is just, the puck is just moving. They're looking for a great opportunity. Even when they get a shot on the goal, they're collecting the puck back, keeping it in the zone. They're just playing really well when it comes to the power play. So I'm hoping, obviously we get a penalty here soon again.
No, well, we're 0 for 3 already, dude. The Rangers were 4 for 9 in the first 2 games. We're 0 for 3 already.
Oh, I didn't realize they had already.
They just came off a power play.
I just finished putting Sienna to sleep, so I was not watching. So.
I know an easier way to put your kids to sleep. All right. It involves either alcohol or a little move called the $1 Million Dream.
No way. NyQuil does wonders, bro.
You can't give NyQuil yet. She's too young.
That's why bourbon, there's no like medical limit on bourbon.
Bro,
that's bullshit.
Too young? That's only if you read the label. Who reads labels? Come on.
Seriously, like Dimetapp and NyQuil, who the fuck reads the label? Like Pepto-Bismol, just drink that shit.
So I came on, I didn't realize they already had 2 more power plays. And they're over. So
TJ is on doing his best Michael Jordan impression with the illness right now and still fighting on.
You know who does really good Michael Jordan impressions? Anthony Edwards for the Timberwolves. That guy looks like Michael Jordan when he plays.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Yesterday,
Before you guys go into basketball, I'm gonna fucking cut out and go rest up a little bit. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in the post game.
You're missing some good playoffs, my friend.
Post game. Later, TJ. Feel better.
I did that so that TJ could go because he's dying. I spoke to him earlier today, and I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Why are you dying? But fucking Knicks up 2-0 against the Pacers. And last night, I just love the Garden faithful out there screaming, fuck you, Reggie. And then Josh Hart at the end of the game walking up to Reggie Miller on national television and saying, I think they're saying, fuck you, Reggie. I absolutely love it. Jalen Brunson, absolutely on fire. We're missing pieces. Everybody keeps talking about fucking Embiid like we didn't already beat his ass.
I know, and he was beat up.
Stephen A. Smith. Oh, who knows where the Knicks would be if Joel Embiid. Are you a fucking Knicks fan, Stephen A? I really don't think you are, bro. Every fucking time the Knicks do anything good, you're like, yeah, but wasn't that good? You're like the fucking dad that gives no support to his kid at all, and your kid comes home with like a 95 GPA, and you're like, so where are the other 5 points? Like, that's Stephen A. Smith.
And it's bullshit, too, because, like people make excuses. Well, Embiid wasn't 100%. Well, that's why the Knicks were able to beat them. The Bucks lost, but, they weren't 100% healthy. The Knicks aren't 100% healthy. The Knicks don't have Julius Randle. He's their number one.
We haven't had Julius Randle like 2/3 of the season. We haven't had Julius Randle. It feels like.
And then now they lost Bogdanovich. Then they lose Mitchell Robinson. So now you're down 3 players, and then OG's out for game 3 already, and that's like one of the, I think a key injury because he's been when you need a defensive stop. He plays really well defensively, and then you saw last night what happened. What he could do when he actually puts himself out there on offense. He could score. He scored 28 points. He got injured halfway through the third, I think. So he scored 28 points and didn't play the full game.
I wore my John Starks jersey yesterday, loud and proud. So I was in it.
Yeah, I mean, I was teaching last night, so I couldn't watch the full thing, but I had it on the radio on the way home, and then when I got home, threw it on. It was actually nice that the Knicks had a little bit of a pad in there at the end, a little bit of a cushion of a lead, so we didn't have to worry too much about coming down to the last like 10, 15 seconds of the game. So it was nice to enjoy those final 2 minutes without too much stress in the heart. But now you have Carolina on a power play here. What was it, tripping?
Yeah, tripping on Fox.
He's part of the good penalty kill team. So hopefully the Rangers should keep the penalty kill going here on this play. I'm probably behind on you.
Yeah, Trouba just cleared it down ice. Minute and a half left-ish. 11 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, I'm so far behind. I'm on my phone, and Optimum's already slow on my house. So when you said the minute 25, I had a minute 55 here. So maybe you might be better off being the one to say what's going on.
TJ's signal tonight was phenomenal. He looked handsome.
He needs to have the phone more on.
As the Rangers get a shorty, how about that tie game?
Tie game. Let's go. I just got it. Who scored it? It's gonna be here
Kreider.
In about 30 seconds. I'm gonna see it.
I looked down for a second to make fun of TJ, and
his signal.
As we see a sea of blue Rangers jerseys in Carolina. Love to see it.
It's like Mika to Kreider. There we go. Kreider on the shorty. I just watched it again because, like I said, I'm delayed, so I was like watching replays. So
Mika to Kreider, and we get the shorty on the rookie goalie. And I love how Kreider just jumps into the Canes fans like, suck it.
Just as we were saying,
I just want to say something that I think is interesting before we get back to the Knicks because we're talking basketball right now. The goalie for Carolina doesn't have socks on. That is weird. Like I can see his flesh on his leg. I've never seen that on a hockey player before.
That is weird. I agree.
That's strange.
But just as TJ was saying before he signed off, the fact that obviously tie game now, but we were saying despite being outplayed that entire first period by Carolina, the Rangers are in the game, and right now it's a tie game. Despite being outplayed, they're getting outshot by 10 shots, but it doesn't matter how many shots you score. How many shots you shoot on goal. It matters how many of those shots go in. And right now, each team has one. So So I'm just gonna. I can't watch it because I'm so delayed. I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna.
No, it's fine because to me because I'm gonna be like, because people are watching this on the stream. It's already gonna be late for them if they're watching us.
It's like doubly late. We got about
like a minute and a half late by the time we just. So you might as well help you.
Yeah. But back to the Knicks. Knicks played great defense yesterday.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, the Pacers. I believe it's the Pacers have the highest paint points in the league or something like that. But they're also they also give away the most paint points.
Yeah, points to paint. Yeah. I know the stats I'm not really too big on right now for when it comes to that because I wasn't watching the game fully until the end. And then when I did, I still had it kind of low because my wife were catching up with me working all day. But yeah, I mean,
you were watching This Is Us.
No, This Is Us is over.
You're still watching. You can still watch. There's called a thing called like Netflix. They called Hulu.
Rewatch.
It's called Peacock. You can watch anything you want whenever you want.
I don't want to rewatch it.
I was in Baywatch this morning and it was phenomenal.
It was very emotional for me. I don't want to watch it again. But yeah, I mean, that game was great. I mean, Jalen Brunson coming back out after his injury early in the first. When he went down, I mean, that's the season. Like you're like this sucks. OG obviously played really well, keeping them in that game, but you're like this blows. Jalen's out. How can we possibly win the series if he does not come back? And right now he's listed as questionable. I think he's going to play Game 3. They need him to play Game 3. You can't have him sit out. Just hopefully he stays healthy. Whatever injury that was, a sore foot, they're saying. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy. Hopefully it's like something he can play through. And just still, I mean, he's still dominating that fourth quarter despite having the injury. But talking about the national media, you were talking about Stephen A. Smith before about how he's like, well, the Knicks doing whatever.
Fuck Stephen A. Smith, a fake ass.
And he's supposed to be a Knicks fan. It's so weird. But Charles Barkley, after the game, was like, I can't wait till y'all Knicks fans get your ass whooped by Celtics. Y'all deserve it. What have we done? Do we have a dynasty? Like, people say it's about the Yankees. Like, oh, the Yankees deserve to lose. They've won so many. They've been so happy, so prosperous. Knicks haven't had anything good in the last 20 years. Right, and finally we have a good team, and everyone.
It's been really sad for 20 years as a Knicks fan. Like, listen, I'm not a diehard Knicks fan. I'm not an Anthony Donahue. I'm not. No, I'm a casual Knicks fan. But there's never been a day where I was like, no. Today I'm a Wizards fan, or today I'm a Lakers fan. If you ask me what team in basketball do I support the New York Knickerbockers. Always have. Always will. There was never a second in my mind where I was like, "Oh, the Nets look really good." They've never looked good. They've always looked like doo-doo brown. All right, always
like they have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James.
I don't give a fuck. They could have Jesus on their team. I'd still root against them.
Fuck
the fucking Nets. They're still from Jersey.
Listen,
despite playing in Brooklyn and repping Brooklyn, they're still from Jersey.
It is tough. It's tough being a Knicks fan for the last 20 years. Obviously, I think the only time it was like positive was Carmelo Anthony, and even though Carmelo Anthony. Jalen Brunson's actually won more playoff series than Carmelo Anthony did.
You know what it comes down to? You want to know what it really comes down to for guys like Charles? Guys like Charles, right? They're mad that the Sixers and the Suns don't ask them to show up for dick. That's what it comes down to. But you go watch the Garden right now, and fucking Allen Houston sitting there. Larry Johnson, who I always remember as a Charlotte Hornet, but he obviously did play for the Knicks. LJ did play for the Knicks, but I always remember him as playing for the Hornets with Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah.
There's like there's TV footage of movie footage of him playing for the Hornets twice. So in my head, he's like right in Space Jam, he's on the Hornets. In Eddie, he's on the Hornets.
Yeah.
So I always think of them.
Allen Houston and John Starks work for the Knicks right now currently, but Larry Johnson does it. Larry Johnson's the man too. My brother actually has a really cool story about him. Was they went to the Walt Frazier's remember the Wine and Dine?
I don't remember that.
You remember that restaurant? Clyde Frazier's a restaurant not that far from Lincoln Tunnel, not that far from the Garden, called Clyde Frazier's Wine and Dine, and it was a really cool restaurant. A basketball hoop in the back.
Was it swishing and dishing?
Was that?
Were the guys in the back swishing and dishing?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it was open for quite some time too, but eventually they did close down. But they used to have all his suits, like not the actual suits, but they had like models replicas? Of his suits. Yeah, not replicas, but like cutouts, basically. Suits and just all over the place, and they would all be in different colors. So like you would walk around the restaurant, and you would see like yellow ones, the red ones. They all be together. It was awesome. It was a really cool place. My brother went there with his friends. Larry Johnson happened to be sitting next to them, and they were doing tequila shots with Larry Johnson. So Yeah, I would like do a shot with him. I'd be like, that's. They took a picture with him. For Larry Johnson's a really cool, down to earth guy, and he still comes out, reps the Knicks. You got Stephon Marbury there.
Stephon Marbury was there. I was like, oh shit, is Starbury there?
It gave
Carmelo was there.
Like it put a smile on my face.
It did. And you know what though? I think that's the difference between the second-hand teams in New York versus the premier teams. Although I think in football it's kind of split down the middle because the Jets have old time. Like the Jets have players that you wouldn't think, like Braylon Edwards loves being a Jet. Loves it. Absolutely loves it. Shows up to Jets things. Nick Mangold will go to MSG and root for the Rangers, but also be like as a representative of the Jets. Yeah. And I know that Carl Banks comes back for the Giants all the time. So football is a little different in New York City.
Carl Banks calls the games.
Yeah. But football is a little bit different in New York City than the other three major American sports. But I think that's a big difference between at least in baseball and basketball. Like fucking Jason Kidd ain't coming back to the Nets to do shit. Matter of fact, didn't Jason Kidd coach the Nets for a second?
He did, like, and then
after he retired, and they basically the fans were like, "Fuck this guy, get him off our field."
Yeah, they
even like play on court.
Yeah, they gave him like a ownership percentage too, and then he lost it at the end of when he quit. He sold it back. But yeah, I mean, listen. Here's the thing with the Knicks. I got like the alumni thing is awesome because it's fun to see them come back and support the team that's playing well. Because like if this team could win a championship, I'd be like, you give all those guys a ring. Like they all went through.
Yes, absolutely. Give everybody that ever wore a Knick fucking jersey a ring.
Yeah,
I would love that too. I'd be like, for the years because sometimes it just feels like the franchise didn't do right by the players.
Yeah.
You know, you're missing one or like those late 90s teams.
We were missing something.
I don't know what the fuck we were missing, but we were missing something. I was too young to really understand the game and try to figure out. But I didn't feel like, other than Ewing, I did not feel like we had a star. And at the late 90s, Ewing was already fading. That star was fading.
Yeah, I mean, that too. And I feel like, back then, like, it's not like it is now where you need the 2 or 3 stars to have a championship team. Like back then, like they did play team basketball. Like they played rough basketball. They had the hand check in. It wasn't soft like now with everyone flopping around, especially with LeBron. I mean, it was a much different game back then. I think talent wise too, like people shoot now. Like I would say, listen, people did flop back then. It just wasn't as egregious. Yeah, but I'm saying like more like today's game,
and it wasn't as common. But there were floppers. There were some guys that flopped.
Yeah, but today's game is more like everyone shoots the 3. No
they strategically
around inside. What'd you say?
They strategically flop now.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And apparently, according
back then, it was like, oh, I'm gonna flop if you hit me. Now it's like I'm looking for the perfect moment to put myself into a position to flop.
Yeah, and now according to Stan Van Gundy, Dante DiVincenzo is quite the actor. On game 1, at the end of it, he was like, "What an act!" He's like, "There's a lot of good actors on Broadway over here, and we just saw."
None of these guys ever fucking said a fucking thing about fucking James Harden initiating contact on every fucking fadeaway he ever made.
Yeah,
not only initiating contact, but also fucking the guy was initiating contact at the same point. He's fucking carrying. It's a carry, and then he initiates contact, draws a foul, and it's like, okay, so how many points are we going to give this guy?
Yeah, and the thing is too, like, he used to do the like if you were in front of him, like he would go to shoot and then like lead into you, which you can't do anymore.
Right. He would initiate contact.
Yeah.
As he faked
in the game. You can't do that anymore. He used to be able to do it. That's when he used to get free throws all the time. But I mean, talking about that though, the refs, obviously it's always when we talk about officials, even in the Rangers series, too, people are like, oh, the Rangers have been getting, opportunity, like the Trocheck power play at the end of the game that they scored on to win the game. They're like, that shouldn't have been called there. That's not you can't call a penalty like that. First of all, Carolina had 2 power plays in the first overtime and second overtime, and the Rangers killed them both off. So like, it wasn't just one-sided, like.
Wait,
Carolina's getting calls. They're just not cashing in on them.
Where are we right now? We were just talking about basketball.
Oh, because we were talking about refs. We're talking about refs.
Right.
Because wow, that was actually a good save. It was right off the handle of the stick. No, I was
You're
talking
about
about
an hour and a half behind. I saw.
I know.
I'm halfway through the commercial break.
I know. No, the reason why I brought that up is because right after the game, Rick Carlisle, the coach of the Pacers, like his entire press conference was just complaining about the refs.
He got a technical and got thrown out of the game.
He had 2 texts. That's why he got thrown out of the game at the end of the game.
Right.
He had the refs. And he's like, every little thing, he said, their physicality gets rewarded, ours don't. Like, and he just went on a tirade for like 5 minutes about how it's so unfair. We knew we weren't going to get calls. We're in New York. We're not going to get calls anyway.
You said, here's the bullshit, right? I got news for you. Anybody who's not a New York fan, all right? I just want you to understand something. It does not benefit any league whatsoever if a New York team, especially the Knicks or the Rangers, are winning. And I'll tell you why. The Knicks and the Rangers sell out every fucking game, regardless of whether or not they are winning.
That's true.
Madison Square Garden is the most famous arena in American sports. Okay, that's why it doesn't have a stupid ass fucking name like Maxi Tampon Stadium. It's just Madison Square Garden.
Imagine
People,
Maxi Tampon did buy a spot.
It's what's gonna happen next. The next fucking football stadium or soccer stadium or fucking baseball stadium is gonna be called fucking, I don't know, fucking Maxi Pad Stadium.
But like, what would you nickname that?
They're gonna put a dome on it. That's maximum absorption. So like, it doesn't just have the water roll off of the fucking arena. It actually absorbs the water as it goes through. That's what's going to happen.
Like they nickname stadiums based upon like whatever it might be. We were talking about the other day, me and teacher like the barn, whatever. I think we were talking about that, the barn.
We were talking about that.
Yeah. What was it like? It'd be like, all right, we're headed into
the house that Ruth built.
We'll be like, yeah, like that.
House
like,
that period's built.
What's the nickname for that one? If it was Maxi Pad, do you say like, we're heading into the rag,
the menstruation station?
The menstruation station. Oh my god!
but it's just. Oh, hold on. TJ said something. You can get season tickets in Raleigh for less than the price of half a playoff game at MSG. And that's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the fact that it doesn't benefit the league for the Rangers or the Knicks to win. It benefits the league when these podunk fucking teams in bumfuck America like Indiana win. Because Indiana, despite the fact that your state may love fucking basketball, Indiana doesn't have a population to support professional sports. The state as a whole. Like, I got 9 million people living in New York and about 13 million people rolling through this bitch every fucking day.
Yeah, it's true.
And they're all at Yankee Stadium. They're all at MSG all the fucking time because it's just a place to visit. You know what I mean? Like going to a museum. You know, like you go to LA and you go to the fucking Hollywood Walk of Fame. If you're a baseball fan, you go to LA and you don't go to Dodger Stadium, you're kind of a fucking moron. You know what I mean?
They're like, oh, well, the ratings will be much higher because the New York team. First of all, the NBA is doing perfectly fine. The New York team has not won anything in 20 fucking more than
50 something years. Yeah.
I'm saying they haven't been to the NBA finals in over 20, like a little over 20 years. So like you're telling me that all of a sudden they're gonna go, oh, we're gonna help the New York team win because we need help in ratings. Like,
no, they need the fucking small teams like Oklahoma City to fucking win so that they can maintain having a franchise in Oklahoma City.
And Oklahoma City is actually a really good team this year, so I mean they could very well win. Say they were Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm
not saying Oklahoma City is not a good team. I'm just saying is look at a team like the Oakland Athletics. There's no fear, no matter how bad the Yankees play, that the Yankees will ever leave New York City and go play in bumfuck America. That shit.
I know. I'm just saying. You were saying that OKC needs a championship, and like they very well might get one this year because their team is very good.
Well, they definitely need one more than the Knicks do. So this concept that like the NBA wants the Knicks to win, it literally, other than TV, it really means nothing. It really absolutely means fucking nothing if the Rangers or the Knicks go into a finals appearance because it just doesn't mean anything. It adds TV money and that goes to the teams anyway, a little bit to the league, but the league's going to make that money anyway on whatever finals by the fans that watch the sport. Mm-hmm. That's what it comes down to. If you're not a fan of the sport, you might watch the last 5 minutes of a basketball game. if you're not a fan, but you're a New York fan and you just want to be a part of the party.
Yeah.
So,
That's
like,
true.
I would say a team like the Pacers need to win more than a team like the Knicks. Because I don't know if anybody here has looked at Knicks tickets for the regular season in general. Like, fucking $200 a piece, just like the Rangers.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
You
there's
can't
stuff
go to
do.
a Knicks game.
No,
And TJ is absolutely right. You can buy a fucking season tickets for a fucking fucking Canes. As a Canes fan, you could buy season tickets for a fucking
when I
playoff
lived in,
ticket at MSG.
when I lived in Jacksonville, I bought Jaguar season tickets, and they were $750. I mean, sorry, it was
For the season.
they were seven. Sorry, they were $700 for the
For the
season.
season.
For 2 seats.
700
For 2 seats.
wouldn't get you 2 games at MetLife.
I know. It's insane.
TJ said Tony D'Angelo keeps talking shit to every Rangers player he can, but refuses to drop gloves. He's a Bayonne smelling vagina.
I like that he always asterisks the curse word when he types, but like he'll say some other offensive thing afterward. It's like just. But
technically speaking, vagina is a scientific word. There's nothing wrong with it. Like you can say it in school.
No, I'm not saying that. Like there's been other ones where he'll say he'll asterisk for the U in his tweets, but then he'd be like you're a pussy. His
phone might do that for him. I can't imagine he does it. But we move on. The Knicks are playing.
The Android does do that. You're right. The Android does do that.
The Knicks are playing the Pacers tomorrow in Indiana.
No
a place
OG.
No Randall. A place I never
no Mitchell.
want to visit. A place that doesn't have a baseball team because it's quite inconsequential. By the way, I just want to point out that Indiana is kind of like New Jersey, where it's a suburb. Like the entire state is a suburb of Chicago, and New Jersey is go to Indianapolis. See how fucking big it is. All right,
I've never been.
Nashville is bigger than fucking. TJ says there's zero method to his madness. I do it. I do. I don't even know what the fuck that meant.
I think it's like I do what I was saying. Like he'll block out the curse word. It's not autocorrect. Like he does block it out, and then like he'll still.
I'm glad you understand him because I don't know what the fuck he just said.
I do it.
I don't know how. I don't think he knows how to use commas.
He should use periods. I think he needed a period.
But yeah, Indiana is like Jersey, where they have like some sports teams, but nothing really worth talking about. And it's really just the entire state of Indiana is just a suburb of Chicago, just like the entire state of New Jersey is a suburb of New York or Pennsylvania, Philly, if you will.
Sure.
Speaking of which, Yankees are on a bit of a roll. They are now, I think, a half game behind the Orioles. They lost today to the Astros. By the way, I just want to point back. I would just love to point out that the Astros. Say again.
It's my fault they lost.
What'd you do?
Because on the description, I didn't realize they were playing at 5. So I put on the description for this video, I put talk the Yankees winning streak.
Son of a bitch.
So that's my fault. I didn't realize they were playing at 5. They were playing at 7. I was like, oh, well, come on and talk at 8. How they won 5 straight.
This guy is fucking high on drugs. He's got to be.
He's taking something for that cold.
D. I don't even know what the fuck that says.
Da da da.
Yeah, I was saying do a diddy dum diddy do.
Oh, he said the police.
He said the police. I don't even know what the fuck that means. You talk about Sting? The only Sting I care about wrestles.
I think
the Astros are seemingly taking their place back down where they belong in the bottom of the baseball annals. They're going to lose all their fans again because they didn't have fans until like 2013.
Yeah, that's true.
And now like their fans have never been in the Astrodome.
That's true too. Yeah.
Like their fans right now have never been in the Astrodome. They have like 6 fans that have been in the Astrodome. One of them is fucking Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, but yeah, they've been bad. They were 12 games before today. They won, but I think they're 11 games in the 500. Yankees are now 11 games over 500.
No, they're 12 games under 500 even after winning today. They're 12 and 24.
Oh, they're
12 and 24.
Wow.
Alex Bregman has forgotten how to hit.
Good.
Which, it happens when you're cheating for so long and then like you can't cheat anymore. Eventually, the league catches up with you.
Yeah, of course it does.
And the Yankees lose today. And
Judge hit a bomb, though.
Say again?
Judge hit a bomb. It was like
Listen, how many runs did it count for?
Only one.
There it goes. And I couldn't give a fuck less. I'll tell you right now, Anthony Volpe hit one 330 feet, and it was 2 runs. So I don't give a fuck if Judge hits one 12 million miles. I don't care if Judge hits a ball so far that it hits another planet in some other solar system, and that planet dies because it got hit by a baseball. If it only counts as 1 run when we need 2, it doesn't matter.
That's true, but it did bring us a little closer. We're down 1.
Too little, too late. Too little, too late, pal.
It was too little, too late. Did the second period end there yet?
No, second's got about 10 seconds left. No,
I have 40.
You're about 30 seconds behind me. But
tell me when the second period ends. So
and 4.5 seconds left, but there's a stoppage for icing.
Oh, stoppage.
So it's
just Thanos home runs.
TJ says it's now Judges hitting Thanos home runs. TJ, he did hit a 473-foot home run today at the stadium in the 8th inning, down by 2. It was only a 1-run home run, a single RBI, and they lost 4-3. Thanks a lot, Judge. 4-3 is so much better than 4-2. Actually, no, it doesn't fucking matter. They lost.
If you had 6.5 runs. If you were betting 6.5 runs and then the 7,
I don't gamble. I'm not Pete Rose, so I don't gamble.
I know you don't gamble, but is the second period over now?
It is over now.
All right, tie game heading into the third. I know we're talking baseball, but kind of watching our eyes are on this game as well. So
absolutely is. So the Yankees are on a bit of a streak. The Mets are Metsing. To say the very least.
Apart. They're like hovering around 500, which is where
they're at 500 today.
Yeah, but they've been back and forth, above, below, 500. So they were hovering around 500.
They are currently tied with the Nationals for 3rd in the NL East. I got to be honest with you, I'm really sad to see where we ended up with the Pirates. They started off so good.
Yeah.
And I'm always rooting for Pittsburgh because obviously I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm a big Roberto Clemente guy. And on top of that, I feel like I can understand the Pittsburgh pain because I'm a Knicks fan and I'm a Ranger fan and I'm a Jets fan, and I know what it feels like to not win a championship for an extended period of time. I don't think Pittsburgh's been in a championship since like the 70s, 80s, let alone win one.
So not for baseball? Or the
No, fuck Pittsburgh for football. They can, and hockey. They can suck a dick in both.
I was gonna say, they
come on, baseball. I'm talking about the Pirates. I'm talking about Pirates fans.
They don't have a basketball team. You can rub that in their face. We have the Knicks. We are the New York Knicks.
I don't feel like Pittsburgh as a city would accept basketball the way it's played now.
No.
They're very rough and tumble.
They're like, we gotta grind it out. We only need like 10 points to win a football game because our quarterbacks suck, except for Big Ben. But now they all suck. But
the Pirates haven't won a World Series since '79, so I understand their pain.
And they have McCutchen. Remember that team with McCutchen was so good.
And I love McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen's a class act. If he doesn't make the Hall of Fame, he's Hall of Fame in my book. I love Andrew.
His like 2 months with the Yankees was amazing. I love that he was a Yankee for 2 months.
I do. I do. And then he goes back to fucking Pittsburgh to end his career.
Yeah.
The guy's a class act.
Did you see when he hit his 300th home run? He gave the kid gave the ball back to him for like nothing. And he signed the bat. He signed the pitcher for him. He did like a whole bunch of things for the little kid.
Andrew McCutchen is everything great about baseball. Class act. Whenever you watch videos of baseball players playing catch with a kid, that's a guy like Andrew McCutchen. Yeah. Before we move on I have nothing to talk about in football.
Only the thing we texted about, the Tom Brady roast.
Yes. But before we move on, did you catch this catcher letting the umpire get hit in the balls with a wild pitch?
Montgomery was pitching.
Yes, Montgomery was pitching, and whose fault is that?
I think it's the catcher. It's
the catcher's fault, right?
Yeah,
I played catcher in high school. All right, and over time, you get to learn the umpires, and they become, I won't say friendly with you, but familiar with you.
Yeah.
And why would you want him to get hurt?
Yeah, he should. He bowed out of the way. Like he kind of.
Because I'm seeing people go, oh well, there's nobody on. Why would he block that pitch? Maybe to protect the guy, the man, as a human being, as a man, adult, as a man in general. Anybody who owns testicles. Why would you ever want to see another person that owns testicles get hit in the balls? Like that guy got hit with a direct shot straight underneath. Anybody who's won a cup before and played baseball, it only protects you in the front. If you get it from under, you've gotten it good. It's going to hurt like a motherfucker, and you ain't going to move for a bit. Yep. Underneath is almost as bad as if you weren't wearing anything at all. And that umpire got hit by a breaking ball from under. So that basically he got hit in the cup, and then the cup hit him in the balls. Like there was no, like a cup usually, like if you get hit head on,
it goes around.
It hits your thighs and the groin area. But when you get hit from the underneath the cup, it just goes straight up into your ball sack, and then you die. And honestly, it comes from you want to die. It comes from that one knee down bullshit where these lazy ass fucking catchers are sitting here playing their position with one knee on the ground, and they can't play defense. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But that's what they're teaching these days. But we'll move on. Let's get into football for 10 seconds. But before we go to football, let's get into, I don't know if you're doing it.
Whiskey of the week.
This week I'm drinking Woodford Reserve. It's a fan favorite around here. I made a nice Woodford Reserve old fashioned today with Woodford Reserve.
I had the double a couple weeks ago.
You did, and I did. I'm doing regular. I'm doing regular today. But I did it with
my hands on double oak again. That double oak was good.
The Woodford Reserve bourbon, obviously, right here. I did it with the Woodford Reserve bitters, the Woodford Reserve cherries. I just didn't have Woodford Reserve sugar or Woodford Reserve water. But always phenomenal. Woodford Reserve is, if you're looking for a good bourbon, Woodford Reserve is never a bad buy. There's no such thing as a bad bottle of Woodford Reserve. You're always going to get a top-notch something, whether it be your double oaked or your standard Woodford Reserve. I don't know that they have anything better than standard and double oaked. Double oaked is as great as it gets. But in some instances, that's all you need. It's like Uptowns, right?
Yeah. We're going in July, so we'll ask them if they have anything.
Is there another shoe that you need that's like a better Uptown? No, Uptowns are good enough the way they are. We don't need anything special.
I do want to say one thing. It's about the Tom Brady roast. We're going
to go into the Tom Brady roast right now.
What's that?
We're going to do the Tom Brady roast right now.
I know. That's why I was saying we have a minute left.
Go, do it.
Yeah, we were texting about this. It's funny because I was watching and listening to Pardon My Take today from Barstool Sports, and they said the exact same thing we said about the Aaron Hernandez thing, how his wife is upset about the jokes that are made on Aaron Hernandez because it would break the image that their daughter has of him as a hero. And they're like, I think the murderers kind of did that for him. And I'm like, this is what I texted Nick and TJ this earlier this week. I was going to mention it on our podcast. And I was like, I stole their bit, but I actually tweeted, what was that? I texted you guys like Monday. When it happened on Sunday? The roast was on Sunday. I texted you guys Monday or Tuesday, and I was like, how is she complaining that the roast is what's going to ruin it? I'm like, she's going to Google when she gets older what her father was and what happened to him. Like, she's going to know what it is.
Why did my dad kill himself? Oh, because he murdered a whole bunch of people, and he was trying to collect some insurance money.
Yeah.
Happy trails, Aaron Hernandez. We'll catch you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Come back and see us for the Rangers post game, win, lose, or not draw. Yeah. We'll catch you in a bit, actually. Yeah. Oh, shit.